Team Trump, who had leaked the information about the rescue operation to the media. And we've seen how in the past many officials have already resigned from Team Trump. And now with this statement, is it a sign of trust deficit within the Trump administration?
I imagine that there are people in the Trump administration who are wondering how they got there, that they joined up, but that they hadn't signed up for what was happening. The problem is that if you have political ambitions in the Republican Party, there is a very good chance that Mr. Trump could destroy those political ambitions.
All right, so what about the mole in Team Trump? That's the allegation of the American president. Information on down jet and missing airman leaked is what Donald Trump has clearly said. Iran didn't know about the missing airman is what he's saying. Leak made rescue operation difficult. It's a big charge. The person who leaked the information will be identified and punished and will be facing jail. That's what the American president has said. Will approach the media outlet that leaked the information on this particular operation, will cite national security, demand the source as well from the media outlet. That's what the American president has clearly said. The media outlet in question must reveal the source or face jail. Let's also tell you about the cost involved as far as the rescue mission for the pilot is concerned. Well, two MC-130J aircrafts cost $100 million, abandoned and burned. One A-10 Warthog cost is $18 million and it was downed by Iran. Two MH-6 choppers cost $5 million for a chopper, again downed by Iran. 0.25 billion is the cost of this rescue operation that was carried out. Donald Trump's repeatedly pushed deadline for Iran to make a deal is nearing its end. U.S. President Donald Trump has now reiterated his ultimatum to Iran, setting a Tuesday 8 p.m. Eastern Time deadline for a deal. Warning of serious consequences, Trump said failure to reach an agreement could trigger massive strikes, critical infrastructure will be hit, power plants and bridges would be targeted. With negotiations still underway, the sharp warning has escalated tensions, raising fears of a wider military confrontation in the region. According to reports, United States Vice President J.D. Vance is on standby, prepared to jump into sensitive negotiations with Iran if back-channel talks advance to the point of a direct meeting with Iranian officials. Trump's comments come after a last-ditch push by regional mediators, including Pakistan, for a 45-day ceasefire, though chances of a breakthrough remain slim. As per U.S. media reports, Pakistan's ceasefire proposal was one of many ideas being considered by the Trump administration, but Trump has not signed off on it. Iran remains defiant. According to Iranian media, Tehran has rejected the latest ceasefire proposal, saying it wants a permanent end to the war, along with guarantees that they don't want to be attacked once again.
No, I can't. It depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of, well, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right? I said, Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today, so I gave them 11, I guess, indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice person. They have till tomorrow. Now, we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this, but we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges, they're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah, Stone Ages.
Now in a war zone, we're keeping them as safe as we can possibly keep them. But we're fighting for their parents, their grandparents. We're fighting for them. We're fighting for their future. And I will tell you, it was given to me loud and clear, the time the Iranian people are the most unhappy when you hear bombs all over is when those bombs stop. That's the problem. Is when they stop, because that means that are they coming back? We want to have them back, and you know everybody knows it, everybody sees it. So hopefully it could be over with quickly. Again, there are lots of different alternatives. We have many alternatives. We could leave right now, and it would take them 15 years to rebuild what they have. We could leave right now, but I want to finish it up. Iran, ready, cannot have a nuclear weapon. They are lunatics, and you can't put nuclear weapons in the hands of a lunatic.
Pranay Padre continues to be with us. Pranay, isn't Trump contradicting himself when he says he's engaging in some serious diplomacy with Iranian representatives who are not that radical, hinting that a deal could be on the cards? You know, at the same time, he's amping up war rhetoric.
Look, President Donald Trump's policy towards Iran has always been of maximum pressure. So be it negotiation or domination, he would want to be seen as exerting maximum pressure on Iran, and in fact, he expects Iran to succumb to that kind of pressure so that he can tell his audience, his MAGA support base, to his people in United States that he has achieved what no US president has achieved so far as United States dealing towards Iran is concerned in last 47 years. And he has mentioned these things that, I could mutter this courage. I am the only one who could, go for these kind of operation. And in fact, President Donald Trump is always known for, using all sorts of adjectives and making those hyperbolic statements. But he said in as many words that if I would have not, given green light to this operation, then Israel would have been finished. Because Iran would have developed nuclear weapon, and with the nuclear Iran, the entire region would have been very unstable, and therefore I have actually brought some good to the world. In fact, I have saved Israel. So I think he's trying to address to his constituency as well with this press conference.
My colleague Anjali Pandey has also in fact spoken to former US envoy to Qatar, Patrick Seros, on the deadline that has been issued by Trump. Be with us, Pranay. We'll come back to you. Listen into this conversation first.
Patrick, how do you look at the press briefing by Donald Trump, the statements that he made, the warnings that have been issued to Iran? He has mentioned about how US will destroy Iran in just one night if there's no deal that is struck till the deadline ends.
It's fascinating, not so much the threats, which are typical of the kind of threat he issues, whether he means it or not, but what's fascinating is the way he went off on a tangent talking about mines, in effect saying it doesn't matter, we could destroy everything, but if they put some mines into the strait, no ship would go for fear of the mines, or they would just have to say they were mines and still no one would send their ships. So perhaps it's wishful thinking on my part, but I sort of think that Donald Trump is looking for an excuse to delay again or to put it off in some way. He is clearly in a bit of a box, and the box is mostly made in USA. It's an American box. He really doesn't care about the rest of the world, but he does care about his political future and the midterm elections coming up. So I detect a certain note of indecision, perhaps, is the best way of putting it.
Well, as the Trump deadline runs out, the focus now shifts to what could be targeted next inside of Iran. Well, at the top of that list is critical power infrastructure that Donald Trump has already threatened will be blown up. It's really the backbone of Iran's energy and industrial network. The Bushehr nuclear power plant, which is Iran's only operational nuclear power facility, a high-value, high-risk target on the Gulf Coast. Then comes the Darkovan nuclear plant, which is under construction but symbolically crucial to Iran's future nuclear ambitions. In Trump's crosshairs as well, the Shahid Salimi power plant in Neckar, a major electricity hub generating over 2,200 megawatts of power. And near the capital, the Damavand power plant in Tehran, which is Iran's largest power station, critical to keeping the capital running. Targeting these sites would not just hit infrastructure, it would disrupt daily life, industry, Iran's war capacity. It raises the stakes dramatically with risk of a wider escalation and regional fallout. The message is clear: if there's no deal, the next phase of this war could hit where it hurts the most, not just Iran, but the wide world. Meanwhile, Hormuz, the narrow waterway which normally carries a fifth of the world's oil and gas, continues to remain the biggest flashpoint amid the West Asia war. US President Donald Trump's deadline to Iran over Hormuz ends tomorrow. And in a stern warning, Trump said America has plans ready to destroy every bridge, every power plant in Iran by midnight tomorrow if the strait is not fully reopened to all shipping. Trump made it crystal clear that Hormuz remains a big priority and Iran can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow. Trump also added the deal with Iran must be acceptable to him. Meanwhile, Iran claimed that there is a lot of difference between America's rhetoric and action. Iran claimed it was following all the terms to achieve ceasefire and alleged war crimes charges against the United States.
I would say it's a very big priority because, see, that's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a loop. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist that somehow has a truck loaded with, because you can carry them in trucks, large trucks, a water mine, drop them in the water, and now you tell people that own ships that cost $1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You can do that even just by saying we put mines in the water. So it's not like the rest. We can knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats, and they could drop them. I'm not even sure they have any mines there, by the way. I'm not sure. Personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none because they're very good. That's why for 47 years they've been other presidents, and they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I think that 47 years of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication. Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us. Your question would have been more accurate if you said us. Go ahead.
All right, that brings us to the end of this edition, but we're leaving you with this report from the national capital, where yesterday a stunning security breach was seen at the Delhi Assembly. A car rammed a VIP gate, lingered inside and escaped, raising serious questions about security gaps in the capital. Here's a report.
A shocking breach right inside the Delhi Assembly complex. At around 2 p.m. on Monday, a white SUV storms the assembly premises, rams an iron barricade, triggers instant alarm. The vehicle smashes through gate number 2, meant for VIP access, breaching CRPF manned entry. High security ring completely bypassed. The driver, identified as Sarabjit Singh, steps out, calm, deliberate. His car places a red bouquet, stays put for nearly 5 minutes.
Here in the visuals you can see how the broken gate and the broken barricades, which clearly show that how the car entered inside.
Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy launched a cruise missile attack on the container ship SDN-7, which belongs to the Zionist regime. Following its destruction, the vessel was engulfed in a massive fire. So,
The Vidhan Sabha, it stayed there, it kept a bouquet, stayed there for around 5 minutes and came back, breaking the barricades and the gate, and then escaped, which raises various serious questions on the security. And this is not the first time.
What follows is chaos, but the SUV slips out the same gate.
इस वक्त मैं दिल्ली विधानसभा के गेट नंबर 2 पर खड़ा हूं और यहीं पर दोपहर 2:30 बजे के लगभग टाटा सियरा सफेद कलर की जो कार है वो तेज रफ्तार से आती है और ये गेट नंबर 2 आप देख पा रहे हैं जो वीवीआईपी गेट है। सामने की तरफ जो बैरिकेड लगा हुआ है इसको तोड़ते हुए जो बैरियर है लोहे का बैरियर उसको तोड़ते हुए जो गाड़ी है वो अंदर की तरफ जाती है और उसके बाद जो दिल्ली विधानसभा स्पीकर है उनकी गाड़ी के पास गुलदस्ता रखती है और उसके बाद तेज रफ्तार से फिर से इस जो बैरियर है लोहे का इसको तोड़ते हुए यहां से फरार हो जाती है।
Police traced the vehicle, a Tata Sierra, from Pilibhit with Uttar Pradesh registration. No explosives were found in the bookie, but the car is seized.
आज एक सूचना प्राप्त हुई कि दिल्ली असेंबली में एक सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच हुआ है। उस संबंध में जो गाड़ी और व्यक्ति की जानकारी हुई वो पीलीभीत का होना प्रकाश में आया। इस संबंध में आवश्यक जानकारी जो है एकत्रित की जा रही है।
The accused, Sarabjit Singh, is now in custody. 2 more were detained. Their roles are under probe. Sarabjit's family claims he had no criminal history and that he is mentally unwell.
मुझसे परसों बात हुई थी, बोला कोई मेरे साथ कोई न्याय नहीं कर रही सरकार, तो बोला मैं चंडीगढ़ जा रहा हूँ ढूंढने। उसके बाद मुझे आज पता लगा ये दिल्ली है। उसकी क्या मानसिक स्थिति है वो ख़राब है, पहले से उसका शाहजहाँपुर से इलाज चल रहा है और यही इतनी जानकारी हमारे पास है।
But the incident raises troubling questions. How did an SUV breach a heavily guarded VIP gate? How did it remain inside the complex for nearly 5 minutes and escape? Who or what was the intended target? A massive lapse now under the scanner. The timing is crucial. It comes after Speaker Vijayendra Gupta flagged bomb threats and sought tighter security. With Anmol Bali and Arvind Ojha, Bureau Report, India Today.
If somebody asked me 2 years back that there is going to be a mad dictator who is going to, throw the world into chaos and crisis and all that in the year 2026, who do you think is going to be? I would think it would be Xi Jinping. He makes other...
He's a bully.
He's more of a big bully.
Hi, I'm Sana. Here's your weather update. Delhi maximum 31 and minimum 21 degrees. Mumbai maximum 28 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata maximum 34 and minimum 20 degrees. Bengaluru maximum 35 and minimum 24 degrees. Chennai maximum 33 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad maximum 36 and minimum 22 degrees.
Islamic Revolutionary
पे हमने मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे का स्टेटमेंट भी देखा है जिसमें बोला था कि केरलम के लोग गुजरातियों के जैसे नहीं है, इलिटरेट नहीं है। आपके जवाब क्या है उसका?
देखिए, अब एक खड़गे साहब है, मैं उनको क्या कहना चाहता हूँ, क्या कह सकता हूँ। गुजरात ने विक्रम साराभाई को दिया है, महात्मा गांधी को दिया है, सरदार पटेल को दिया है, मोरारजी भाई देसाई को दिया है और नरेंद्र मोदी को दिया है। अगर वो गुजरात को इलिटरेट मानते हैं तो कांग्रेस की बीमार मानसिकता का परिचायक है। मैं आज जब सार्वजनिक सभा में जाऊंगा तब जरूर इसको रिस्पॉन्ड करूंगा। पूरे गुजरात का इन्होंने अपमान किया है, न केवल गुजरात, उन्होंने कहा गुजरात और अन्य प्रदेश। तो जो लोग बीजेपी का समर्थन करते हैं वो सब इलिटरेट। तो देश में 21 प्रदेशों का एक साथ अपमान करने का काम उन्होंने किया।
Well, how many times have you simply picked up an eye drop over the counter without even thinking twice about what could possibly be going into it? So why am I asking you this question? Well, there is a reason. The government has issued a warning. Unapproved eye drops for dry eyes could be putting your eyes at risk instead of giving you relief. Well, the government, through Delhi's All India Institute of Medical Sciences, has asked states to stop selling certain eye drops that contain sodium hyaluronate. The government says it may not have the correct regulatory approval. So what exactly is sodium hyaluronate? And what then is the problem here? Officials say these drops, eye drops, fall under the category of a new drug, which means they must be cleared before being sold. Without approval, their safety and effectiveness remain unverified. Experts are advising people to use only doctor-prescribed eye drops and to buy medicines only from trusted sources. The fact is, even simple dry eye drops can be risky if unapproved. They may worsen irritation, increase dryness, and raise infection risk. Doctors are advising that one must check a label. Consult your doctor before use. But we have some news that's coming in at this point in time. Air India Group has revised fuel surcharge amid sharp rise in global jet fuel prices. It's actually a multifold increase in fuel charges on domestic and international routes. Well, after Indigo, Air India Group announces spike in fuel charges, and these are surcharges which is actually effective from tomorrow onwards. That's the 8th of April is what we are learning. Essentially, this obviously means that there would be a big possibility of ticket fares going up in a big way as airline plans to, in fact, recover this cost, I understand, from the passengers. Fuel charges would be surging. Amit Bhardwaj has got more details on that story. I'm going straight across to him. What next? Does it look like a big increase in the cost of the tickets and fares because of the surcharges that are going to be levied, an increase in the surcharges here? Amit?
Well, Sneha, for domestic consumers, certainly this is an increase from, earlier when this fuel surcharge was introduced in March, which was applicable from March 12th. The passengers across India for domestic travel had to pay rupees 399 as part of the fuel surcharges, which has been now increased in slab-wise manner like Indigo. What Air India has done is that from April 8 itself, that is from tomorrow, if you book your tickets in India for domestic travel, you will have to pay something between 299 to 899 depending on the slab that you are traveling. So the 299 slab is very unlikely because that is applicable for a journey between 0 kilometers to 500 kilometers.
Okay.
There are rarely any flights of that range that passengers in general take. For the international passengers, especially those flying to North America, USA, Europe, there could be increase of near about $100 to $80 as part of the fuel surcharge increment that has been implemented. Now the revised fuel surcharges would come into place for some destinations from 10th of April, for some other destinations from 12th of April. So which means that increase in the overall ticket. Back to you, Sneha.
All right, increase in the overall cost of ticket there. That is something that is expected. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. Amit Bhardwaj with the very latest on that big story. Time now for Viewers India Today's So South segment. We're bringing you all the flavors and news from southern part of our country.
Hello, welcome, Vanakkam, Namaskaram, and good afternoon. And this is Nagarjun Dwarkanath, and you're watching So South, where we get you all the southern news that dominates over the next 30 minutes. Remember, it's two states that go into elections, and in next few days, Kerala also goes to polls. Big state assembly elections left facing 10 years of anti-incumbency, while UDF hopes to be in power after 10 years of being in opposition. So a lot of news coming in from both poll-bound states, and joining me right now are Pramod Madhav, Anaga Keshav, Apurva Jayachandran and Shibi Mol from both Kerala and Tamil Nadu will be getting us all the latest updates. But let's kickstart the bulletin with news coming in from Tamil Nadu. Time and again, conditions have been put in for Vijay's rally. Right now, what we are picking up is the permission given for TVK's rally in Tirunelveli with 51 conditions. And this claim is put forward by TVK themselves. But the cops say that there were only 3 conditions given. And Tirunelveli top cops have said that the campaign can happen between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and the roadshow might happen within the city limits. Cops have said that there has been given a no objection certificate to Election Commission allowing the campaign to happen. They also have said that TVK and the Netas will also have to follow all the SOP put in by the TN police and the state police and the state government at this point of time. So while TVK is claiming that 51 such campaign rules have been set in place, while the cops are negating that only 3 such campaign regulations and rules have been put in place, and the main criteria is TVK will have to follow the SOP given by the state police and the state government. And we also have Anaga Keshav on this, joining us live right now. Anaga, can you give us more details as to what exactly is the point of contention here between TVK and the government? While TVK is saying 51 such points have been given, rules have been given, while police are saying they only have given 3 such rules to ensure that the campaign is in specified time.
Well, in fact, if you can hear me, TVK's campaign is scheduled for tomorrow. We've learned from our top police sources from the Tirunelveli district that the permission that's been given to Vijay is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Vijay has to carry out his road shows in his campaign in this time slot. He's also slated to campaign in the rural part of Tirunelveli as well as inside the city premise. He will undertake a road show where he will give a speech at one point. Although TVK's leader Sengotian claims that 51 restrictions have been imposed on TVK, but when we spoke to Tirunelveli police, they say that they have given a no objection certificate with 3 main conditions. The 3 main conditions are that TVK has to follow Tamil Nadu government's SOP, which was recently formulated, number 1. Number 2 is that TVK has to deploy its own volunteers on ground to make sure that the law and order situation does not get out of hand. Number 3 is that the TVK has to adhere to the model code of conduct. Every single time TVK carries out a campaign, it comes under a lot of scrutiny because of the kind of crowd that TVK gathers every time. And this time, what I'm learning through my police sources is that there are about 15,000 people that's expected to come tomorrow for TVK Vijay's roadshow. It will happen. TVK's Vijay will land in Toothukudi. From there, take a car and then come to Tirunelveli, where the roadshow is slated to take place.
Thank you, Anaka, for getting us all the latest updates. Also, it's once again EPS versus Udaynidhi Stalin. In the last recent days, we have seen how both the Netas have been targeting each other, and yet again, they've spoken against each other. Ahead of the Tamil Nadu polls, EPS and Udaynidhi Stalin have engaged in war of words. Udaynidhi Stalin has called EPS a cockroach and an earthworm, and he claimed that EPS has once again at the feet, and fell at the feet of O. Pannirselvam and VK Sasikala, and now EPS is hanging at the feet of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which makes him a remote control person from Delhi, is what Udaynidhi is saying. EPS has hit back and asked Udaynidhi to control his tongue and accused him of nepotism. He warned that if such remarks continue, there would be a befitting reply. He also questioned the source of funds used for the race cars that he owns, is what EPS is attacking. So war of words between both Deputy Chief Minister Udaynidhi Stalin, calling EPS a remote control person and falling at the feet of OPS and Sasikala earlier, and while EPS is targeting Udaynidhi Stalin to be a nepo kid and questioning his source of incomes. Listening to the voices on the story.
என்ன பத்தி பேசுறாரு. இந்த அனுபவம் எல்லாம் எனக்கு கிடையாதுமா. பதவிக்காக யார் காலையும் விழுகிற அனுபவம் எனக்கு கிடையாது. எனக்கு இருக்கிற அனுபவம் எல்லாம் சுயமரியாதை அனுபவம் தான். கலைஞர் கத்து கொடுத்தது தான் திராவிட இயக்க கொள்கை மட்டும்தான் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச அனுபவம். முதல்ல ஜெயலலிதா அம்மா காலில் விழுந்து கிடந்தாரு. அப்புறம் அந்த அம்மா இறந்த பிறகு இந்த அம்மா காலை பிடிச்சாரு. அப்புறம் இந்த அம்மா ஜெயிலுக்கு போயிட்டாங்க. அப்புறம் டிடிவி தினகரன் காலில் விழுந்தாரு. அப்புறம் அவரை கழட்டி விட்டுட்டு ஓபிஎஸ் அவர் காலில் விழுந்தாரு. இப்ப அவர் நம்ம கிட்ட வந்துட்டாரு. அவர் போனோடனே எல்லாரையும் கழட்டி விட்டு இப்ப என்ன பண்ணிட்டாரு, வேற டெல்லிக்கு போய் மோடி காலை பிடிச்சி தொங்கிட்டு இருக்கிறாரு இந்த எடப்பாடி பழனிசாமி அவர்கள். மொரட்டு பக்தர்கள் பார்த்திருப்பீங்க, மொரட்டு தொண்டர்கள் கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. எங்கேயாவது பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா ஒரு மொரட்டு அடிமைய? இன்னைக்கு இந்தியாவிலே நம்பர் 1 மொரட்டு அடிமை திரு எடப்பாடி பழனிசாமி அவர்கள் தான். மோடியுடைய மொரட்டு அடிமை. அந்த அடிமை கூட்டத்தை டெல்லியில இருந்து தமிழ்நாடை எப்படியாவது ரிமோட் கண்ட்ரோல் மூலம் கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ண நினைக்கிறாங்க. அந்த ரிமோட் கண்ட்ரோல் தான் திரு எடப்பாடி பழனிசாமி அவர்கள். நாம மீண்டும் மீண்டும் சொல்லுவோம், தமிழ்நாடு என்னைக்குமே டெல்லிக்கு அவுட் கண்ட்ரோல தான் இருப்போம். இது
உதயநிதி அவர்களே, நான் வணக்கம் தேவை. உங்க அப்பாவும் உங்க தாத்தாவும் உனக்கு இந்த பதவி கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. என் தாத்தாவும் அப்பாவும் இந்த பதவி கிடைக்குமா? திரு உதயநிதி அவர்களே, நீங்க யாருக்காக சென்னை மாநகர் மத்திய பகுதியில் பல 100 கோடி ரூபாய் செலவழிச்சு கார் பந்தயம் நடத்துறீங்க? யாருக்கா என்று வெளிப்படையா சொன்னா உங்களுக்கு அசிங்கமா போயிரு. நீ நாமளுக்கு தேவை. இல்லாவிட்டால் நான் மட்டுமல்ல, எங்க நிர்வாகிகள் மட்டுமல்ல, எங்களுடைய அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழக தொண்டர் அதற்கு தகுந்த பதிலடி கொடுப்பார்கள். யாருடைய பணம்? கார் பந்தயம் தேவையா? விவசாயம் எவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க, விவசாய தொழிலாளி எவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க. அவருக்கு தேவையான திட்டங்கள் கொடுப்பதற்கு பணம் இல்லைங்கிறீங்க. 100 நாள் வேலை திட்டத்தில் பணிபுரிந்த ஊழியருக்கு பணம் இல்லைங்கிறீங்க. எப்படி இந்த கார் பந்தயம் நாட்டுக்கு தேவையா?
Apurva Jayachandran is joining me live on this. Apurva, war of words once again between EPS and Deputy Chief Minister Udaynidhi Stalin. While Udaynidhi is showing posters of EPS falling at OPS and Sasikala's feet, which happened much earlier, how is EPS hitting back at Udaynidhi at this point of time?
were precisely hit by drone and missile strikes.
But in fact, if you do see, it's a strong comments that are being made by, Edappadi K. Palaniswamy, AIADMK's leader and the chief ministerial candidate face for the NDA. In fact, he has hit out at Udaynidhi and as well as MK Stalin as well, talking about the kind of corruption that has existed in Tamil Nadu. Not only that, earlier on, you also saw how, EPS had hit out at Udaynidhi Stalin, saying that his his entire lifespan is much shorter than the experience that even AIADMK's political experience has been. And that's the kind of statement that Edappadi Palaniswamy has hit out at Udaynidhi Stalin. He has warned Udaynidhi Stalin of refraining from making such crass statements, saying that his political legacy is a lot stronger and lot well known to the public, and the works of AIADMK is a lot more well known to public, rather than from the likes of someone like Udaynidhi Stalin, who has just risen to the top thanks to his father and his grandfather, MK Stalin and Karunanidhi. That's the kind of statements that EPS has made. More so over reacting or that, you also see Udaynidhi Stalin going ahead and showing a placard of EPS from the time when he was trying to get into power. That is right after J. Jayalalitha's demise and Sasikala was nominated as the General Secretary. We saw the visuals there going viral of EPS prostrating and falling flat at the feet of Sasikala. Right. And Udaynidhi Stalin has hit out saying this is not the kind of political experience that I believe I have. I have not fallen at the feet of Sasikala. Right. I have not fallen at the feet of OPS. I have not even gone ahead and raided to Delhi and fallen at the feet of Modi like EPS has gone ahead and done so.
Thank you, Apurva, for getting us all the latest updates. And now moving on to the next story is about the Satankulam custodial death. The first additional district and sessions court in Madurai awarded death sentence to all the 9 cops convicted in the murders of P. Jairaj and his son Benkis in Satankulam in Tuticorin districts in 2020. Remember, Jairaj and Benkis were taken to the Satankulam police station in Tuticorin district late in the evening on June 19th, 2020 on the charges of having kept their shop open beyond the deadline during the COVID-19 lockdown. They were brutally assaulted by the policemen at the night and were lodged in the Kovilpatti sub-jail in the next day. Benkis died of injuries in the Kovilpatti government hospital on June 2020, while his father Jairaj died on June 23rd, 2020 as well. We have Anaga Keshav joining us live on this. Anaga, take us through all the observations that the court made in this case. In fact, post 6 years, we have got conviction of the police as well. What were the observations of the court?
In fact, it is quite unprecedented that never in the history have 9 serving policemen have been given a death penalty for this case. In fact, the court has made some really scathing observation. The court, while reading out the series of incidents that took place, stated that the heart would shudder of anybody who would read what the father-son duo went through. In fact, some of the details is that according to the forensic observation that the CBI had placed, they are saying that the father-son duo had to clean their own blood that was splattered from their own bodies off the floor of the police station, off the floor of toilets, despite being brutally beaten up and injured. They had to clean their own bloods. That's the kind of grievous intensity of brutal attack that we are talking about. 9 policemen have been given death penalty. It's quite unprecedented. In fact, the prosecution also argued that this is the rarest of the rare case that warrants the highest of the punishment. In fact, the court also made an observation that just because police personnel who receive salary under taxpayers' money say that they are under stress, it doesn't warrant them to do what they do. It doesn't warrant them to be inhumane and be brutal with those under custody. That was the kind of observation that the court had made in this case. It's a historic case. After a 6-year-long wait, they finally gotten justice to the father-son duo for absolutely no mistake of theirs. In fact, the CBI also came out later saying that the claims made by the police personnel was not true. In fact, the father-son duo did not keep their mobile shop open beyond permissible hours. This was a false charge leveled on the father-son duo. Right. Unfortunately, their 2 innocent lives were taken away, and the court has given death sentence to 9 police personnel. It's quite unprecedented.
In fact, a trivial issue, in fact, was blown in, and now, after 6 years, the court has given its verdict as well in Madurai. Moving on to some more breaking news coming in.
In the name of God,
Tamil Nadu Education Minister Anbil Mahesh has hit out at the union government on the two-language policy and the three-language policy. In fact, he's gone ahead and said that the two-language policy was given by Anna and they stuck to it. Almost 3,000 crores under the Samagra Shikshan Abhiyan has not been released by the union government because they're insisting on the three-language policy. He went on to say that Tamil Nadu is very clear in terms of the stand that Tamil language is the root and English is the language for global reach, and that is more than enough. Third language policy is going to lead to more dropouts is what State Education Minister Anbil Mahel have to say. Listening to the conversation that we had with him.
We have the State Education Minister Anbil Mahesh with us. Sir, since morning there's been a kind of like exchange of words on Twitter between the Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan over the three-language policy. We just want to know why DMK has become so upset over this issue right now.
We used to say like the two-language policy is given by our parent Anna, so we always stick on to that. You all know like almost 2 to 3 years like the amount from Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Almost more than 3,458 crores they are not releasing because of they are insisting us on this three-language policy. And we are always clear. See, Tamil is for our root and English is for the global reach. That is more than enough. And even in Tamil Nadu, we are just giving more education on the mother tongue and we are giving more equation on the English and spoken English and everything, right? So on that part, like while we are focusing more on this two-language policy. Again, they are insisting the third language on this one, and which is going to give the result in the a lot of dropouts and a lot of failures. As I always used to say in Karnataka, because of the three-language policy, like more than 50,000 students failed in the 10th standard, and now I think they have changed the policy in the Karnataka side, right? So that's why like we don't want to have more dropouts. As we all know, like in Tamil Nadu state, like in the elementary side, the dropout ratio is 0, and in the high and high secondary side, it is almost 7.7%, which is like national average, it is 14%. So we are focusing more on the run, but because of the insisting of the three-language policy, definitely that will result in the dropouts, that will result in the even 10th fail or 11th fail kind of thing. So we don't want to do that.
You mentioned that for the next 100 years now, Dravidian government is going to lay a major roadmap. So the Tamil identity and the two-language policy are going to play a very important role in this?
Absolutely. It's always it's been one of our main mantras since Parent Anna spoke about it. It has to be two languages. It cannot be a three-language policy. It can be 100 languages. We don't have a problem with that if it is not imposed on anybody, right? As long as it is not imposed, we'll take 1,000 language policy, and in fact we are giving the options of learning Japanese, German, Taiwanese, Mandarin in many of our schools now, right? And this is what we want to bring to the table. We want to open up the world, while Delhi wants to open up just a bit of North India. So I don't think there's growth. Why would I want to open up and go into that corner of the north when there's not much development there? Why would my people want to go there? Most of the north is coming here because the growth is here, and we want our people to go around the world. Go to Germany, go to Japan. They want talent from Tamil Nadu because they see that there's so much of talent in Tamil Nadu, and they want trained talent from Tamil Nadu to work in their countries. That is the level at which Tamil Nadu is, and we'll never, ever, ever accept imposition of.
By the grace of God Almighty, every single action you undertake.
Lottery King Martin, in fact, Charles is to fight with his own party, LJK, in Puducherry, and he is the son of the Lottery King, son-in-law Adav Arjun from TVK in Tamil Nadu in Villivakkam constituency in Chennai, while Martin's son is contesting from Puducherry as well. Lottery Baron can contest polls from three parties in Chennai as well as Puducherry's wife Lima to contest in Lalgudi on an AIDMK ticket. So we have wife on an AIDMK ticket, son in their own party ticket, and in fact son-in-law Adav Arjun on the TVK ticket in Chennai constituency, Chennai city, and in Villivakkam constituency as well. Lottery Baron King contest polls from three parties. Son from LJK in Puducherry, wife Lima to contest in Lalgudi in AIDMK. Remember, Lima is one of the richest candidates in this poll fray. She has declared around 1,000 crore odd worth of assets in her affidavit at this point of time, and son Charles is contesting in Puducherry and fighting on an own party called LJK, while Adav Arjun, who is the General Secretary of TVK, is contesting from Tamil Nadu in Villivakkam constituency in the vicinity of Chennai. So three people from the same family are contesting these polls, two in Tamil Nadu and while one in Puducherry.
நீங்க அதிமுகல இந்த வாட்டி தேர்தல்ல நிக்கணும்னு ஏன் ஆசைப்பட்டீங்க?
இல்ல அதுக்கெல்லாம் காரணம் இருக்குது. சேவைகள் செய்யறதுக்கு தான் வந்திருக்கிறேன் லால்குடி தொகுதிக்கு. பொதுச் செயலாளர் அண்ணன் எடப்பாடியார் அவர்கள் ஆணைக்கு இணங்க இங்கு என்டிஏ கூட்டணி தலைவர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய கடகோடி தொண்டர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய நன்றிகளை வாழ்த்துக்களையும் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். நான் லால்குடியை தேர்ந்தெடுத்தது நான் சிறு வயதிலிருந்து நான் சேவைகள் செய்து கொண்டிருந்தேன். பல தேர்தலுக்காக நான் பணியாற்றி இருக்கிறேன். நம்ம லால்குடி தொகுதியாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, பெரம்பலூர் எல்லா ஊருமே நான் வேலை செஞ்சுருக்கிறேன். அந்த இதில் மக்கள் ரொம்ப கஷ்டத்தில் இருந்தாங்க. நாங்கள் ஒரு மார்டின் ட்ரஸ்ட் வச்சுருக்குறோம், மார்டின் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் வச்சுருக்குறோம். அந்த இதில் நிறைய மக்களுக்கு தெரியாதவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் நான் செஞ்சிட்ருக்கிறேன். இப்போ இந்த லால்குடி தொகுதியை தேர்ந்தெடுத்த அண்ணன் எடப்பாடியார் அவர்கள் தான் வழி நடத்தி இங்கே அனுப்பியிருக்கிறாங்க. இது புண்ணிய பூமி. பெரிய பெரும் தலைவர்கள்லாம் இங்கு காலடி வைத்திருக்கிறார்கள். மாநில மகளிரணி இணை செயலாளராக என்னை அறிவிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் நான் ஒவ்வொரு தொகுதியாக நான் போய் பார்த்தேன். ஒவ்வொரு இடத்தும் போய் பார்க்கும்போது மகளிர்கள், பொதுமக்கள் அவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஆதங்கத்தோடு இருந்தாங்க. பாதாள சாக்கடை கேட்டாங்க, ரோடு வசதி, தண்ணி உப்பு தண்ணியாக இருந்தது. அதேமாதிரி நெல் குடோன், மக்காச்சோளமும் நெல் குடோன்னு கேட்டிருந்தாங்க, வேர் ஹவுஸ் மாதிரி. அதெல்லாம் நான் ரோட்லேயே இருக்குது, ஒரு களம் மாதிரி அமைக்காமல் இருந்தது. அதெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு நான் செஞ்சு தரேன். அண்ணன் எடப்பாடியார் அவர்கள் நிறைய வாக்குறுதி கொடுத்துருக்குறாங்க. அந்த வாக்குறுதியில் கண்டிப்பாக முதலமைச்சர் வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் செய்து கொடுப்பார். அதன் பிறகு நானும் அவங்களோட சேர்ந்து என்ன இங்கே நம்ம மக்களுக்கு தேவையோ லால்குடி தொகுதியை நம்பர் 1 தொகுதியாக தமிழ்நாட்டிலே ஆக்குவேன் என்று கூறிக்கொள்கிறேன்.
Pramod Madhav is joining me live on this. Pramod, in fact, you had an exclusive conversation with Lima. She's one person from the family. Not just that, but we have Adav Arjun from Villivakkam and son, in fact, contesting in Puducherry. The whole family is into the poll fray at this point of time.
Sure, yes, Nagarjuna, and this is like a very interesting factor that is developing the state of Tamil Nadu. These are three people from Lottery Martin Santiago Martin's family, and this is his wife Lima Rose, just like you mentioned. She's actually having an AIDMK ticket. She recently joined AIDMK, and she's actually contesting from Lalgudi, and she very clearly mentions that she wants to work for the people of Lalgudi, and she says that through Martin Foundation and such, she will definitely work. And she's also promising that whatever the promises that was made by Edappadi K. Palaniswamy, all those promises will be fulfilled, and she assures that she wants to work for the people. Similar kind of promise has been given by Adav Arjun, but he is actually contesting from Tamilnaga Vechi Karagam. That is Vijay's party, which is opposing both AIDMK and DMK in the state of Tamil Nadu, and their son, that is Jose Charles Martin. He actually started his own party called as LJK, and he's contesting along with NDA in Puducherry, Nagarjuna.
Thank you, Pramod, for getting us all the latest updates, and we'll move on to the next story. DMDK's Vijay Kant's son, Vijay Prabhakaran, is Vijay Kant, and he's had an exclusive conversation with Akshitananda Gopal, and Vijay said that his father's name was misused and that his ego prevented him from forming an alliance with anyone. Take a look at the exclusive conversation that we have had.
Can I just talk also about, your father's legacy? and the pressure of carrying that forward. This time you've got one more entrant in politics who's claiming your father's legacy, Vijay. He's been constantly referring to captain, referring to his style of politics, talking of how he admires him. Is that a challenge? How do you see that?
Definitely.
Because it's also a similar path, no, of superstar into politics, all of that.
Definitely, Vijay Anna has been introduced by Vijay Khan. There are no doubts in that entire Tamil Nadu knows. And now after coming to politics, you know, whoever they might claim they are new or whatever it is, but everyone has some selfishness. So after coming to politics, they have so much of screaming about captain is their blood, this, that.
Yeah.
And we can't stop that because Vijay Kant is a neutral leader. He's Tamil Nadu's leader. Everyone likes him. Everyone loves him. We are glad that Vijay Anna likes him and his followers were following captain as well. But it's definitely a challenge for us because 20 years back when DMDK started, it was the same when captain stepped into politics. And now when Vijay Anna is stepping also, yes, all the youngsters are going behind him. We have a huge fan following. I'm not denying that. But we have to see how he's sustaining and how he's going forward. So,
why didn't you consider, quite openly I'll ask you, an alliance with the TVK?
No, this is the question even I'm thinking. No, that's not like what I'm telling. Like all the cadres of TVK cadres are getting angry on us that why didn't we consider?
Yeah.
That's a very basic line in political rule. If you're going to be the head of the alliance, that you have to start the conversation. It's a basic thing, right?
So you're saying TVK didn't?
No, they never asked us. They just used captain's name on the meetings. They never came and asked us, hey, can you come and join? Then after election, that no one is joining means who will go? It's an open book secret. Vijay Anna is not able to reach out. They can't just blame us. When they're pointing the finger at us, even the three fingers are pointing at them. They
because
should take the
when I
blame
went to
as
a
well.
Vijay rally, most of them said we're captain fans.
Yeah.
We're captain fans. Does that hurt the DMDK?
No, they
and
are...
your chances? You know, you're the heir. You're the heir of his legacy.
Captain fans won't go to TVK.
Won't go.
Real DMDK, real captain fans will stick to DMDK.
With that, it's a wrap of today's So South, and I would thank Anaga Keshav and Apurva Jayachandran for bringing us all the latest updates. We'll see you once again at 1 p.m. tomorrow with more updates and latest news.
जिंदगी में आगे बढ़ना है तो खुद से आगे निकलना होगा। जब दिल में हो जज्बा तो रास्तों की क्या जुर्रत जो हमारी उड़ान को रोक सके। BKT Tires, their long tire life, exceptional road grip or unmatched comfort. BKT Tires, elevate your drive.
Like I said before, we better hold this in. Like I said before, we better hold this in. Character, the taste of success.
Which took place this morning. Which belongs to the Zionist
I think Donald Trump has let down the people of America. This is a great country that surely deserves better from their leaders than these kind of unhinged, unpredictable statements. Whether America is winning the war or not is not the question here. It's just what you've taken the world through over the last 4 to 6 weeks. Even India, this is supposed to be our Goldilocks moment. Strong growth, low inflation. Now we are struggling to deal with the aftermath of a war that we've not even created.
Right, Assam police are looking for the Congress Neta in the eye of the storm now, and what we are learning is that incriminating material has been found from Kheda's residence. That's the information we have at this hour. Assam police has now said. Well, a case has been registered with the crime branch in Guwahati. The cops saying we wanted to meet Mr. Pawan Kheda. Incriminating material found from Kheda's residence. We don't know about his whereabouts. We will trace him, is what is now being said. Himanta Biswa Sarma claims Kheda has fled to Hyderabad. That's the big story we are breaking at this hour. Remember, trouble brewing for the senior leader of the Congress party, who had held a press conference speaking about the fact that the wife of the Assam Chief Minister, Himanta Biswa Sarma, had not one but 3 passports. Also properties in Dubai. These were defamatory in nature, is the argument from Himanta Biswa Sarma and his wife registering an FIR. As of now, there have been searches that are getting carried out. And Himanta Biswa Sarma has said that there will be the strictest action taken against him for these defamatory allegations that have been made for political reasons. Pawan Kheda, they're escalating the attack on, talking about the fact that his wife has got several properties outside of India, holds multiple passports. Himanta Biswa Sarma has, in fact, also hit out at the Congress party and at Pawan Kheda, saying that there will be action. Cops have said we don't know where Pawan Kheda is as of now. And also, in fact, police, both Assam and Delhi police, have reached Pawan Kheda's residence. I'm going to go straight across to Mosmi for more on that. Mosmi, the Congress continues to stand by these allegations. They've made these allegations against the Chief Minister and his wife, the Chief Minister of Assam. What next as far as the larger backing from the party is concerned, given that this matter is now with the police, really?
Clearly, this is a high-pitched political battle that is rolling out. Somewhere the cops have been in the middle of this entire tussle that's happening between the Congress and Himanta Biswa Sarma. Clearly, even right now at the residence of Pawan Kheda, the media chairperson, we are seeing a lot of police personnel right here, and the Assam police just left a short while ago, stating that clearly that Pawan Kheda is not traceable, he is not responding to calls, we are unable to contact him, and we have searched and investigated at his residence. So top officials of the Assam police right here descending, and the Delhi police, in fact, working in tandem, cooperating. We've seen that tussle earlier in Himachal Pradesh, where the Himachal Pradesh cops were, confronting the Delhi police cops as far as the youth Congress protest was concerned. But yeah, with, the BJP government at the center, full cooperation extended out to the Assam police. And it's an interesting power play. The Kharge is backing Pawan Kheda, saying, FIR karna hai to karo, we will face it. We will face it. We are hearing our sources tell us that Pawan Kheda could probably do a press conference in the evening as well.
Well, absolutely. Pawan Kheda could be doing a press conference, but right now, what are you learning about his whereabouts? The police say they don't know where he is, even as this big matter, as far as these allegations are concerned. It continues to escalate. It's only expected to escalate even further, especially because Himanta Biswa Sarma Mosmi has said that these are baseless allegations. The BJP says, these documents are false. These are purged documents, and it's not like she is holding these passports. These 3 passports as alleged by Pawan Kheda.
That's right, Sneha. We've been trying to contact close aides of Pawan Kheda. We've
We've in fact spoken to them. They said that he is out of Delhi. Now, we don't really know, of course, the Congress would not like to disclose the location of Pawan Khera, not because he'll be on the run, but Congress would like to play to its narrative in full swing on coming close on the heels of the polls in Assam. And that's why whether Pawan Khera, in fact, meets the cops of Assam, or whether he does a press conference where he is taken away, whisked away by the Assam police, is going to be optics at full swing, is what we really feel that since those allegations and those press conferences done by Pawan Khera, we've seen a lot of tit for tat. And in fact, we are also told that Pawan Khera is gathering more evidence, more fresh allegations are supposed to come by the evening from the media chairperson of the Congress, direct attacks on Hemanta Biswa Sarma and his family. So this battle seems to be escalating and gathering high pitch.
Well, absolutely. Mosmi getting in those details at this point in time, viewers. This has got to do with allegations to tell you about that have been made against the Chief Minister's wife. Assam Chief Minister's wife. Assam is a state headed to polls. Pawan Khera of the Congress party, the media in charge and senior leader, has spoken about 3 passports of Hemanta Biswa Sarma's wife, speaking about properties in Dubai and elsewhere. The BJP and the Chief Minister have gone all guns blazing against the Congress, saying that this is timed perfectly to defame the Chief Minister and his family, keeping elections in mind. Well, staying with politics in Assam, the battleground is getting sharper, more personal, with allegations, FIRs and political face-offs now dominating this narrative. Well, at the heart of the storm is the controversial passport controversy that has triggered a full-blown war. The Congress, led by Pawan Khera, has alleged that Assam Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sarma's wife, Rinki Bhuyan Sarma, holds multiple passports. A serious charge BJP has outrightly rejected as baseless, defamatory. Now, the wife of the Chief Minister has filed an FIR against Khera, accusing him of spreading false allegations and tarnishing her reputation. The row escalated quickly, with Assam police reaching Khera's Delhi residence, assisted by Delhi police. However, Khera was not there at that time, adding another twist to this. Hemanta Biswa Sarma has gone on the offensive, claiming Khera has fled to Hyderabad and is scared after the FIR, turning the legal battle into a political attack. The Congress is pushing back. Party Chief Mallikarjun Kharge has made it clear the party is not scared of FIRs and will face this situation collectively, signaling a larger political fight ahead.
वो भाग गया ना अभी कल सुबह 6 बजे ही वो गुवाहाटी से भाग गया अभी दिल्ली में हमारा लोग मैं अखबार से मुझे पता चला है दिल्ली में पुलिस गया है तो हैदराबाद तक भाग गया प्लान का मतलब नहीं कानून अपना हिसाब से काम करेगा ना
अरे जो इल्जाम उन पर लगाया गया है उनकी डबल इंजन की सरकार है यहाँ भी उनकी सरकार है और केंद्र में भी है फिर उनका फॉरेन मिनिस्टर इसी स्टेट का है उनके पार्टी का ही है कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर फॉरेन मिनिस्टर उनके पार्टी का ही है स्टेट मिनिस्टर उनके पार्टी का है क्या वो सो रहे हैं वो देने दो ना रिप्लाई कि ये झूठ है सच है हम तो सरकार से ये क्लैरिफिकेशन पूछेंगे कि सच है लेकिन वो देने के बजाय एकदम अगर एफआईआर करते हैं करने दो उसको कोई डरता है जो होता है हम फेस करेंगे
All right, and earlier my colleague Akshita Nandgopal has spoken to senior leader of the Congress party, Sachin Pilot, on these allegations that have been made by the party and the fight back as far as Hemanta Biswa Sarma is concerned.
The new accusations that have come out against the Chief Minister, he has not responded yet. If any allegation is, when he is making allegations against Gaurav Gogoi and his wife.
No, you're referring to the one about his wife having multiple passports.
Yes, I'm saying all these controversies that are coming up today, when you're making allegations against somebody, you're very happy to do it. When someone has found some data that needs to be verified and be questioned against you, then I see him getting all angry and all, very
Because he's
boisterous.
threatened to file a defamation case, says all of this is untrue.
But he should do it now. Who's stopping him? Who's stopping him? But you say all this is false, fine, prove it. But when he's calling Gaurav Gogoi's wife, Pakistani agent, all sorts of name calling, when they do name calling and mudslinging, it's okay. But when you have actual data and facts that are there, and and for one kid I said that you can file a court case against me if you want to. So I'm saying politics of Assam was never like this.
A massive political showdown is also brewing in West Bengal over voter list revisions, with both sides trading sharp charges ahead of crucial polls. Well, at the heart of the storm is the large-scale deletions under the SIR process, now triggering questions over electoral fairness. Data access shows over 90.6 lakh voters have been deleted statewide, with the highest deletions reported in Murshidabad at 4.5 lakh, followed by 2.3 lakh in Malda, raising serious concerns over the scale and the impact. Mamata Banerjee, the CM, has slammed the move, claiming her efforts added voters, but alleging that there are 40,000 plus deletions in her own seat, accusing authorities of excluding Matwa and minority communities, even linking it to 250 deaths. Well, BJP sources say the deletions could reshape the contest, arguing TMC's votes are concentrated, BJP is better spread across seats, giving it an edge in tight races.
সুপ্রিম কোর্টের নির্দেশ অনুযায়ী যে লিস্ট কালকে বেরিয়েছে 32 লক্ষ লোকের নাম 60 লক্ষের মধ্যে অলরেডি উঠে গেছে, আর বাদ বাকিটাও আমরা চেষ্টা করব, ট্রিব্যুনালে আমরা চেষ্টা করব। চিন্তা করবেন না, অনেক নাম বাদ গেছে মুর্শিদাবাদে, উত্তর দিনাজপুরে, মালদাতে, দক্ষিণ 24 পরগনায়, নদিয়ায় উকুন বেছে বেছে নাম বাদ দিয়েছে, বাগদায় মতুয়াদের নাম বাদ দিয়েছে। আমি শুনেছিলাম আপনাদের নাম বাদ দিয়েছে গাইঘাটায়, মতুয়াদের নাম বাদ দিয়েছে, চাকদায় দিয়েছে, হরিণঘাটায় দিয়েছে, সব জায়গায় দিয়েছে। এমনকি আমার ভবানীপুর কেন্দ্রেও 40,000 নাম কেটে দিয়েছিল।
All right, moving on, let's tell you a little about what is happening as far as India's aviation sector is concerned. Clearly under severe strain as ongoing West Asia conflict disrupts air routes, raises fuel costs and adds pressure on airlines. In a major development, Campbell Wilson has resigned as CEO of Air India. Wilson took charge in July 2022 after the airline was acquired by the Tata Group. Well, the exit comes amid turbulence for the airline. Its low-cost arm, Air India Express, has also been without a chief since the departure of the former MD Alok Singh earlier this year. Additionally, the CEO of Indigo had also resigned on the 10th of March, adding to the leadership uncertainty in the aviation sector. Airlines globally are battling airspace closures, longer routes, rising jet fuel cost, and higher war risk insurance as the regional conflict intensifies. Amid passenger complaints, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation has ordered airlines to keep 60% of seats free for selection, up from the earlier 20% to curb hidden charges. Artemis, 2 astronauts are farther from Earth than any humans have ever been before. NASA's Artemis mission has surpassed Apollo 13's record. The astronauts viewed never-before-seen parts of the moon's far side, the regions not visible from Earth. US President Donald Trump congratulated the Artemis crew and hailed the achievement, saying it paves the way for America's return to the moon soon. However, the interaction took an awkward turn with a brief moment of silence between the president and the crew. Listen in.
So proud to be a part of this program. Well, I have to say I spoke to a very special person, Wayne Gretzky, who I think you know, the great one. And I spoke to your Prime Minister and many other friends I have in Canada. They are so proud of you. And you have a lot of courage. I'm not sure if they'd want to do that. I'm not even sure if the great one would want to do that, to be honest with you. But you have a lot of courage doing what you're doing, a lot of bravery and a lot of genius. But they're very, very proud of you.
Where no one really knows on why that awkward moment happened really between the astronauts and the president. Early Tuesday morning, well behind the moon, something extraordinary though unfolded. 4 humans went completely out of contact. No signal, no communication, just silence in deep space. For nearly 40 minutes, Earth could only wait, and then a signal returned. A voice came through, reconnecting Earth to its most distant explorers. My colleague Kshitija Gosavi with the details of this historic lunar flyby by Artemis II.
And it's just to the northwest of that, at the same latitude as home, and it's a bright spot on the moon.
40 minutes. That's how long humanity lost contact with its most distant explorers.
This is Apollo 16.
As the Orion spacecraft slipped behind the moon's far side, the crew vanished into what scientists call a communication shadow zone, a place where even radio waves cannot escape the moon's massive barrier. At exactly 5:12 a.m. Indian Standard Time, a signal pierced through deep space. The NASA Deep Space Network locked on. And then came the words everyone was waiting for.
Houston, we have you the same, and it is so great to hear from Earth again.
This wasn't just another space mission. The Artemis II crew had just traveled further than any human since Apollo 13, rewriting the limits of human exploration. For 6 hours, they flew over the moon's mysterious far side, a region no human eye had ever directly seen before. Capturing rare images, studying rugged, untouched terrain, and even naming lunar features, turning science into something deeply human.
There's a feature in a really neat place on the moon, and it is on the near side, far side boundary. In fact, it's just on the near side of that boundary, and so at certain times of the moon's transit around Earth, we will be able to see this from Earth.
In a moment that touched hearts back on Earth, astronaut Jeremy Hansen proposed naming a lunar crater after the late wife of crewmate Reed Wiseman. A reminder that even in the vast silence of space, humanity travels together.
It's a loved one. Her name was Carol, the spouse of Reed, the mother of Katie and Ellie. And we would like to call her Carol.
Behind that silence, critical work continued. The Orion capsule executed a flawless gravity assist maneuver, using the moon's pull to slingshot itself back toward Earth. Life support systems held steady, navigation stayed precise, and every second of data was stored, waiting to be sent home. Now, with contact restored, scientists are downloading a treasure trove of data and high-resolution images. All eyes are on a safe splashdown expected this Friday. But this mission is more than a journey. It's a signal. A signal that humans are going back to the moon to stay, and one day even further to Mars. With Kshitija Gosavi, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, and today we are commemorating the World Health Day, and this is an extremely important thing that we want to tell you about. Well, at the age of 19, most people don't really think twice about their health, but problems like high cholesterol can actually start silently and early. Without symptoms, it often goes unnoticed until it leads to serious issues like heart disease later in life. And that's why experts are now saying, and this is a study that has been done, that to catch hidden risks is important, and this before they turn into lifelong problems. Today on World Health Day, a look at why early cholesterol checks as early at the age of 19 are now imperative is what global experts are suggesting. I filed this report earlier. Well, you celebrated your 18th birthday and now you are stepping onto your 19th year. Well, time for you to get registered as a voter in India. Time for you to also get your cholesterol checked. Well, you heard that right. Your cholesterol checked at 19 because heart disease doesn't start at 40. It starts silently in your teens and 20s. Early detection means early intervention, means lower lifetime risk.
American Heart Association, AHA, ACC, American College of Cardiology, ESC, which is European Society of Cardiology, all three guidelines in 2026 clearly say that lipid detection has to start very early by the age of 18 years because atherosclerosis or blockages start early when you are young. In your teens, there is no point in doing a lipid testing at the age of 40 when the damage is already set in.
Well, new American Heart Association guidelines recommend earlier and more personalized cholesterol testing, starting in childhood and continuing through adulthood. Why does early cholesterol matter then? Well, the central idea behind the new guidance is simple. Heart disease begins early, so prevention should begin early as well. Research shows that high LDL cholesterol contributes to plaque buildup in arteries, increasing the risk of heart attack and stroke later on in life. Indians get heart disease earlier, often 10 years earlier than Western populations. Higher baseline risk is more visceral fat, insulin resistance, higher tendency for dyslipidemia even at a normal weight. Silent progression is a concern as well, with many young Indians having no symptoms but abnormal lipids. What does this really mean? Waiting till 30 to 40 to test is actually too late for many Indians.
In Indians, you have something which is called as a pear-shaped obesity. That means your abdomen is out of proportion to your legs. Your legs are thin, but your abdomen or your waist is high. So if your waist circumference is more than 90, I repeat, your chances of having a cardiovascular event is 3 times higher. Look for a cumulative LDL burden. How much time is my blood vessel exposed to a lot of lipid, lot of cholesterol, and then the more chances of damage are there as compared to the general population.
It's not just how high your LDL is today, it's how long your arteries are exposed to LDL over your lifetime. Think of it like that. Cholesterol means cumulative damage, not a one-time spike.
As compared to an elderly population who got a thick cap blockage is a gradually progressive blockage. It's a 50% blockage. After 5 years, it may become 60. Another 10 years, it may become 70. While in case of young patients, it's a thin cap blockage, a 30% blockage, and emotional stress, physical stress, weekend binge drinking, weekend marathon, suddenly the blockage or the plaque ruptures, the 30% plaque ruptures into 100%, and the vessel occludes immediately and causes a sudden cardiac death.
But this changes in real life if you are between the ages of 19 to 25. Get a baseline lipid profile done, especially when there is a family history of heart disease, overweight, sedentary lifestyles, PCOS, diabetes risk. If LDL is borderline, then fix your lifestyle. Reduce ultra-processed foods, increase fiber, protein balance, and exercise consistently.
It is your LDL years, your cumulative LDL years which matter. Your low saturated fats, low refined carbs, healthy lifestyles, along with an early intervention will go a long way in circumventing your heart disease. You should screen early, you should act early, and you should think with both diet and lifestyle modification along with drugs is the key for circumventing cardiovascular diseases.
a meticulous...
Are your loved ones, senior citizens around you taking too many medicines? This could be really risky. A study has found that polypharmacy, which is the habit of taking many medicines, 5 or 10 or even more medicines every single day, is horrible. And worse, it's actually very common. The findings have been published in BMC Geriatrics based on studies of frail elderly patients with dementia or limited life expectancy. Mixing too many drugs can cause side effects, dizziness, even falls. It can lead to confusion and memory problems. Experts also caution families against assuming that more medications mean better care. In reality, each additional drug increases the risk of harmful interactions. What you must definitely do is ask your doctor.
Hi, I'm Sana. Here's your weather update. Delhi maximum 31 and minimum 21 degrees. Mumbai maximum 28 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata maximum 34 and minimum 20 degrees. Bengaluru maximum 35 and minimum 24 degrees. Chennai maximum 33 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad maximum 36 and minimum 22 degrees.
Panasonic AC, India का कैप्टन कूल.
Good afternoon and welcome. You're watching Lunch Break and I'm Anisha Mathur with the headlines at this hour. Trump hails the costliest extraction of all time. No one will be left behind, vows Trump. Hints at a mole within his team leaking information to media. Promises to find the one who linked info on missing airman.
But these two extraordinary rescues, because it was two, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour, and then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker.
Trump's deadline for Iran till 5 a.m. tomorrow. Claims he has a 4-hour bombing plan ready. Warns no bridges, no power plants. Tehran rejects ceasefire proposal, seeks guarantee on ending war. Power plants, bridges and now trains on the target. Israel eyes train attacks in Iran. Warns your presence in trains endangers you. Battle for Assam heats up. Assam cops reach Pawan Khera's home amid Himanta Vishwa Sharma's wife's passport row. Cops claim incriminating material found from Khera residence. Suspected rocket attack kills 2 kids in Manipur. Rocket hits BSF Jawan's home, kills 2 Meitei kids. 5-year-old boy and 2-month-old infant killed in the hit. Suspected Kuki militants fired rockets from a hill. Over 90 lakh voters deleted in Bengal SIR. 58 lakh names deleted in first phase. BJP smells victory in Bengal. BJP sees significant dent to TMC strongholds. Historic achievement in NASA's manned mission to lunar orbit. Artemis reaches maximum distance from Earth. Astronauts now in the farthest place from Earth than any humans in history. Trump speaks with astronauts in space. In West Asia war, the US President Donald Trump has escalated his rhetoric against Iran, warning critical infrastructure could be hit within hours if no deal is reached by Tuesday 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If the deadline passes, Washington has multiple options on the table, from intensifying its bombing campaign across Iran to targeting power plants and bridges to cripple infrastructure and disrupt daily life. A more high-risk move could involve a direct operation to seize Iran's enriched uranium stockpiles, while another scenario includes deploying paratroopers to occupy Kharg Island, a key oil export hub. The US could also launch a naval offensive to clear and secure the Strait of Hormuz, ensuring global oil flows but risking wider escalation. Asked if such strikes would be a war crime, Trump said, because they're animals. The Israel Defense Forces has warned Iranians to avoid trains and rail lines, citing safety risks, even as IDF claims strikes on Tehran airports, targeting aircraft and helicopters. Meanwhile, Iranian Minister Ali Reza Rahimi has urged citizens to form human chains at power plants, calling attacks on civilian infrastructure a war crime.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges. You saw the bridge one. We were very close to a deal. And then I got a call from Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Kushner, and JD saying, I think they're breaking the deal. I said, tell them that's okay. Don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch. And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over. So do I want to do that? No. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America. They killed 45,000 people in the last month, more than that.
And Pranay now joins us from Tel Aviv. My colleague Pranay Upadhyay is in Israel. Pranay, I hope you're keeping safe, but tell us, how do you see America and Israel's brazen threat to target civilian infrastructure like passenger trains, power grids, and bridges? What are you picking up?
as per the Israeli Defense Forces, they are targeting all possible command and control structures, and they have, as per them, the IRGC is using the railway infrastructure, the public infrastructure as a shield, and in fact, that's why the IDF has warned. However, this will remain of a grave, this matter becomes a matter of grave concern because, the railway stations, bus transport hubs, they are the public infrastructure where a large number of common commuters, civilians are there in these sort of places. The IDF in last 24 hours have carried out massive strikes targeting the various airports of Iran, including Mehrabad Airport or the Amaish Airport, or the cities like Isfahan, Shiraz, Tehran, and other areas of Iran.
All right, Pranay, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you here. Stay on with me, Pranay. I'm now being joined by a very special guest, Mr. Zvika Klein, editor-in-chief of the Jerusalem Post, joining us live from Tel Aviv. Sir, welcome. Thank you very much for speaking to us. How are you seeing this push, sir? Because there is a direct attack being made by the US and by the Israeli government on civilian infrastructure now. We saw an attack on a bridge just 4 days ago as well, which is something that Donald Trump has again referred to in his speech. But is this the way forward? How are you seeing the next few hours?
So obviously the next few hours are very tense, and so many things could happen and could develop. But I think President Trump's threat was very clear, and I think when he threatens, he usually fulfills the threat if needed. And the Israeli military has already said yesterday that it is ready with targets of civilian facilities, as you mentioned, mainly energy. And this morning, Israel time, as I see on one of the screens that we saw now, the IDF Persian account on social media told Iranians to avoid any sort of train or train stations until this evening, Iranian time. So that's definitely something which is planned, and we're expecting to see happen, unless something very dramatic happens, which I don't see that scenario happen.
So, Mr. Klein, if I may ask, isn't attack on civilian infrastructure, transport infrastructure, food lines a war crime? Because the UN has also flagged this, that this kind of attacks on civilian infrastructure does violate the Geneva Conventions, it does violate international law. So why is it that why is IDF supporting this kind of move?
So the IDF, regardless of what other reports would say, the IDF, and as well as the US, I would say in this specific attack, but I could speak for the IDF, does anything it can in its protocol to not harm any civilians or civilian infrastructure. That said, I'm in Tel Aviv, your reporter is in Tel Aviv. We've been under attack, civilian areas, civilian facilities, including, power plants across Israel for a month and a half now, as well as all of the allies of the United States across the Middle East, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE especially, Bahrain, have all been, attacked in civilian facilities. Therefore, I think it should be acknowledged the fact that up until now, there hasn't been as much targeting of these facilities.
Do you see a ceasefire coming, Mr. Klein? Because Trump has made these kind of threats. We saw in the last 24 hours the back-channel talks, the proposal that had come in, Iran's response to that proposal. Do you see any chance of a truce before this deadline?
I don't. So what I said, before, I don't see a scenario of a ceasefire. The sources I'm speaking to within the Israeli government and within the Israeli military don't see any type of truce or agreement in the next few days. Definitely there needs to be, as we know in wars, there needs to be a certain diplomatic, decision between countries. I think what the United States and Israel would want is for Iran to come to the table in a more severe situation than it is at the moment. Yes, Iran is hurt. Yes, it has been targeted. Yes, many of the leadership have been eliminated. But as we see, they're still able to attack all of these countries across the region. So I think, you know, with targeting civilian dramatic, you know, energy facilities, that is something that will really, as you know, President Trump would say, bring Iran on its knees to a negotiation. And just one more element is, who are we negotiating with, right? You know, the question is, who are actually the people making the decisions in Iran today? And the supreme leader hasn't been seen, only in, you know, archived videos and in AI videos, but we haven't
what are
seen
you
the
picking up
supreme
from
leader.
your sources about these back-channel negotiations? Because reports say that Iran has responded with a 10-point proposal for a ceasefire, for a broader peace deal. So who exactly is at the table right now?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question that everybody's asking. I don't have a specific answer for that. But, you know, definitely what I do understand is that there's major communication issues within the leadership of the regime, which obviously makes sense. And therefore, even if there is some sort of negotiation going on, the question is the person negotiating actually able to make that decision?
All right, Mr. Klein, if I can ask you to give us a perspective. You're the editor-in-chief of the largest English language newspaper in Israel. How are you seeing the US's threat of escalation? What do you think Trump is going to do next? What is your government going to do next?
So, I mean, the Israeli government, as mentioned, has a very long list of targets that can be attacked with the approval of the American government. I think the joint operation between the IDF and between the U.S. military is something historic we haven't seen up until now, and it's very unique. But it also makes Israel be in a position where it can't make certain moves without the approval of the United States, being the superpower ally that we have. So, you know, initially there were a number of attacks. President Trump has asked Netanyahu not to attack, energy plants, etc. Again, this is my hunch, and I may be wrong. I think President Trump is really going to go all the way here, because he can't afford politically to get some sort of a mediocre deal. All of the Gulf countries are very worried about a deal that would not include them, which would leave Iran with capabilities. Even if we put aside the nuclear abilities, it's the long-range missiles, which, you know, we're all suffering from.
Are you saying then that we may see ground troops coming in from the U.S. and also are you saying that we may see the West Asian countries, the other West Asian countries who've been under attack so far, also join in militarily?
Well, you said two things. When it comes to ground operation, there may have already been ground operations that we don't know of or that haven't been publicized up until now as special forces. Obviously, there was, you know, a specific ground operation to release the pilot, the American officer. I do see a scenario of a ground operation, not in the traditional sense. I don't see necessarily kind of, I don't know, tanks and thousands of troops going in, but I do see definitely targeted specific types of ground operations within Iran. And also, you know, the big question really is, will the countries in the region join? As the Jerusalem Post, we've written a number of times in our editorial, calling for these countries to to get the courage and be brave enough
but you
to
don't
make
see them
that
actually
step.
joining. You are asking them to join. You don't see them actually joining. Is that?
Well, I can tell. Okay, first of all, there is coordination behind the scenes between these their militaries and our military and the government. Okay, so like there actually is interaction, including with countries that we don't necessarily have diplomatic relations with, and also in behind closed doors, the leadership of all Gulf countries want the IRGC led Iran to be dismantled or to be harmed because
So, Mr. Klein, as you said, I'm sorry for interrupting you. My last question to you, really, coming back to the issue of attacks on civilians and war crimes. You just said the West Asian countries want the IRGC-led Iran regime to be dismantled. My specific question to you is, does that validate, therefore, in your eyes, the war crimes that are being done, the attacks on civilians, the attacks on schools, the fact that infrastructure, including medical infrastructure, is being affected, what the IDF and Trump have said about trains? Because the UN is also saying this. They're not just saying that nobody is saying what Iran has done to civilian areas in Israel or any other country is correct. But does that justify attacks on civilian areas by you, by a much larger power, really?
100%. I mean, a legitimate question. The United Nations and President Trump, as well as Prime Minister Netanyahu, have been very, prominent on the fact that the United Nations is a very hypocritical organization established after the Second World War, was supposed to actually be a power that would, make sure that there wouldn't be war or crimes against civilians. Israel has been treated by the UN in a proportion like no other country, including regimes that kill millions of their own people. Israel is criticized a lot more than they are. I think the fact that the IDF is actually trying to communicating with the civilians of Iran and telling them where to be and how to behave is definitely a very important step.
All right.
But yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Klein, for speaking to us. The perspective of a senior journalist from Israel about what happens next. Right now, I will bring you a big exclusive, Mega India Today world exclusive. My colleague Pranay is in Tel Aviv and he's speaking to a top Israel officer, a top Israeli forces spokesperson. Over to you, Pranay.
Where this conflict is heading, how much Israel and United States have achieved, and are we looking at more destruction? To discuss this issue, I'm being joined by Lieutenant Ben Cohen, the Deputy International Spokesperson for IDF. Welcome to India Today.
Thank you for having me.
And Lieutenant Ben, first question to you. At the beginning of this conflict, you have set certain objectives. If you can tell our viewers how much you have achieved, how much is left on scale 1 to 10, where does this operation stand right now?
So look, our objectives are very clear. I'll lay them out as we put them out at the beginning, right? Israel and the United States went out to this operation, Operation Roaring Lion, in order to remove an existential threat for Israel and a threat on the entire region. And I think if anyone had any doubt that the Iranian regime is a threat to the entire region and not just Israel before this operation, it's been made very clear over the last month how it works. So as we're operating against that existential threat, we have a few very clear goals. We're targeting their command and control. We're targeting their ballistic missiles programs on all of its parts. We're targeting their ability to manufacture weapons, including ballistic missiles. We're targeting their aerial defense arrays. And we're targeting, in general, everything that has to do with their military infrastructure, right? Because that's what we do. We target military infrastructure. As far as we've succeeded in that goal, we've created aerial superiority, as you can tell, in all of Iran, for Israel and the United States, striking thousands of targets over the course of the last month. We've significantly targeted their ballistic missiles. We've disabled more than 70% of their ballistic missile launchers. We've targeted ballistic missiles in all of their parts, also in their warehouses, also while they're being fired. And recently, we've been striking a lot of their, we're striking a lot of their manufacturing sites in the last few weeks. That's a significant goal that we've achieved over the last few weeks. As far as it goes, we're going to keep going until we achieve that goal.
So you haven't achieved your goal as yet.
So we have very clear goals, and we're going to keep going until we achieve them. I'm a military spokesperson. When we get that directive that we're at that goal, we'll stop. But right now, we're going to keep going.
But how do you justify your recent warning issued to the people of Iran that now they should not use the rail network? How do you justify that? Is the rail network and train and transport system of Iran legitimate target for Israel? And how do you justify that?
So let me tell you something that distinguishes the IDF from a lot of military activity, in history, is that we do this thing called evacuation, right? We give up the element of surprise as far as it goes when we strike our military targets in a lot of situations. Because we're evacuating population, we're letting them know ahead of time, hey, there's military infrastructure here. We're going to strike it. Right? And we want you to get out of harm's way because our war isn't against the Iranian civilians. It's against the Iranian terrorist regime. Now, as far as it goes for specific warnings, we have a very clear policy. After we strike targets, we put out precise information. As far as it goes for outstanding warnings, I think we can give more information as the day goes on.
But you think it's a legitimate target for IDF?
The IDF strikes military targets. We have a very, very clear system to define what a military target is. International law professionals. We examine every target to figure out what the civilian collateral damage may be and try to minimize it as much as we can. So we strike only military targets. And when we strike those targets, we can give precise information.
If we could just clarify a bit how a rail network becomes a legitimate target, because commonly normal civilian passengers use those rail transport network.
I won't speak to any targets that haven't been struck quite yet, but I can assure you that the IDF strikes military targets only, right? There's an international law professional sitting in the room approving those targets and making sure that when we strike targets, we are striking military targets. Now, on the other hand, you have a terrorist regime that a lot of times uses civilian infrastructure as a base for military targets. I'll give you an example for a week ago. A chemical factory. The Iranian terrorist regime goes out and says, this chemical factory was used for medical aid, was used for all of these different things. But we know behind the scenes, they were transferring those chemicals to make chemical weapons for the Iranian terrorist regime. And so that's a legitimate military target, right? So that process that we go through, we check that intelligence every time, happens for all of our targets.
Listen, Ben, how do you justify, because many analysts are saying that there is a disproportionate damages being sustained by both Israel and Iran. For one Israeli life, there are around 100 Iranians dying. So there is a disproportion in that. How do you explain that there are a lot of civilian damages in Iran as well?
So I would say that the disproportionate part of this entire war is the morality that stands behind both sides. Right? On one hand, you have the IDF. We value civilian lives on both sides of the equation, right? We do our best on one side in the Iranian terrorist regime and our strikes on it to evacuate civilians, to prevent civilian damage, despite the fact that the Iranian terrorist regime is in civilian infrastructure. On our home front, we do a lot to protect our civilians, aerial defense. We have a home front command. And on the other hand, you have an Iranian terrorist regime that does precisely the opposite. They are endangering their civilians by entrenching themselves inside of civilian infrastructure deliberately, and they're on the other hand targeting civilians on purpose. They don't target military structure, they're targeting civilians. We know this, our intelligence shows this. They want, yesterday I was in Haifa, northern Israel, a direct impact from a ballistic missile. The warhead didn't even explode and it still collapsed an entire building. 4 civilians were dead. They were just eating dinner. It's not near any military bases. It's not near any military infrastructure. It's just a civilian home. That's their strategy.
Since the beginning of this operation, Lieutenant Ben, IDF has been targeting the top leadership, command and control structure of Iran. Do you think that you have eliminated sizable number of the top leadership, or are you still hunting down, you're still going behind? And if you can tell us about, is the new supreme leader, Mustafa Khamenei, still a target for you? Because President Donald Trump is saying that a new regime is there in Iran and they seem more rational. We are dealing with them.
So I can tell you in terms of striking Iranian leadership, this operation started with the elimination of over 40 senior commanders, including the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, but also many other senior commanders and their leadership, and we've continued to systematically strike their military leadership. So military leadership are targets, 100%. But I won't speak to any specific operations or any specific targets because, I don't want to give a fair warning to anyone who might be a target in the future.
But you are still going ahead with that?
So again, we are striking command and control. What's happened over in the recent days, in the past 48 hours, we eliminated the head of intelligence of the IRGC, and we're continuing to strike. I won't speak to any strike before it happens.
But every person who's key for command and control structure of Iranian establishment remains a target for you?
So again, I won't speak to any specific targets. As far as we eliminate them, then we'll let you know what our plan is.
Okay. Lieutenant Ben, did Iran's military capabilities or Iranian preparations surprise IDF and United States military at any point of time? Did you miscalculate? Because this war has already prolonged for over a month, and Iran is still able to hit back. As you mentioned that, 2 days ago, they have targeted Haifa and many other cities. Your alarms are still ringing and sirens are still blaring.
So I think there's two parts to this answer, right? The Israeli people, after the 7th of October, take everything very seriously, right? We can't allow ourselves to think any of our enemies don't have military capabilities. We always operate under the assumption that they do because we want to be able to protect our civilians, right? That's sort of our lessons learned going back. And so we understand our enemies are a serious threat, and that's why we're striking them in the first place. Now, as far as it goes for this operation, I think the numbers tell the story. In the first days of the operation, the Iranian terrorist regime was firing dozens of ballistic missiles a day. Now, even if there are multiple alarms over the day, usually, it's single, double, triple arrays of ballistic missiles. So it's not the same level of firing. But, the Iranian regime does their best to maximize damage to civilians, even if the amount of ballistic missiles is decreasing. You have cluster bombs, which they've been using rapidly, and other weapons.
We have seen that most of the incoming projectiles, missiles have been eliminated, destroyed by the robust missile defense system of Israel, but still they are able to penetrate. Some of the missiles have navigated to different locations. We have seen those damages as well. Do you think that Iran still has that capability and they are still can throw more missiles at Israel?
So as you can tell, they continue to fire missiles indiscriminately, not just at Israel, across the entire Gulf at civilian areas. We have a multi-layer defense system. It starts on Iranian territory when we're striking those operatives as they launch the ballistic missiles. It continues in the air with our aerial defense array, and it also continues at home. We put a lot of effort into our home front command and making sure the civilians know how to get into the bomb shelter, when to get into the bomb shelter to protect themselves, because it really makes a big difference. Nothing's hermetic. We understand that there's a threat. That's part of the reason that we're striking. If there was no threat, then there wouldn't be a reason to strike it.
So you want to say that you will keep striking till the time the threat is there, or you believe that threat is there?
We're going to keep going until we understand that we are removing the existential threat presented to the state of Israel.
Let me move ahead and talk about the...
It's time for us to take a very short break. More news and updates will continue on the other side. Keep watching India Today.
जिंदगी में आगे बढ़ना है तो खुद से आगे निकलना होगा। जब दिल में हो जज्बा तो रास्तों की क्या जुर्रत जो हमारी उड़ान को रोक सके। BKT Tires, their long tire life, exceptional road grip or unmatched comfort. BKT Tires, elevate your drive.
Like I said before, we better hold this in. Like I said before, we better hold this in. Character, the taste of success.
Hello and welcome. You are watching In the Club. I am Susan Now. The upcoming Akshay Kumar starrer blends horror and comedy as a couple weds in a haunted town, uncovering eerie secrets. Meanwhile, with echoes of classic comedies and a strong ensemble cast, the film delivers spooky laughs that audiences are eagerly embracing. Take a look.
वधूसुर गया नहीं है.
The doors creak open. The wind turns cold. And somewhere between laughter and fear unfolds the story.
स्टोरीज है टेम्पल्स की, भूतों की, काला जादू, काला भूत, गोरा भूत, लंबा भूत, छोटा भूत.
With a wicked grin and a whisper of nostalgia,
सुंदर.
Bhoot Bangla arrives not just as a film, but as an invitation into a world where the past refuses to stay buried and comedy dares to dance with the supernatural.
शादी यहीं करेंगे. It is confirmed.
Bhoot Bangla follows a young couple who choose an unusual destination for their wedding, an ancient haunted town steeped in mystery and warning.
भूत का क्या करोगे? भूत का क्या करोगे? अरे भूत की बात.
Ignoring every ominous sign, they move forward with their plans, only to find themselves entangled in the eerie secrets of an old mahal and the unsettling truths lurking within the town.
गोरा भूत, लंबा भूत, छोटा भूत, भूत आया
नाम बताओ. सुंदर. सुंदर.
Meanwhile, the film leans heavily into nostalgia, something fans have clearly been craving.
यहाँ पिछवाड़ा जल जाता है.
कल रात को मुझे भी लगा कि कोई मेरे कमरे का दरवाजा खोल रहा था.
तुम्हें डर लगे तुम मेरे कमरे में सो जाना. इसने कहा मुझे मंदिर का घंटा समझ रखा है. जब भी आता है बजा के चला जाता है.
The reunion of Akshay Kumar and Priyadarshan after 14 years instantly revives memories of their iconic collaborations. In fact, many viewers have already drawn comparisons to Bhool Bhulaiya,
दशा बदलते ही परिस्थितियों में सुधार आएगा. लेकिन मुझे चिंता है.
noting a similar blend of suspense and humor that once proved to be a winning formula.
अमेरिका पैरासाइकोलॉजी कॉन्फ्रेंस आपने भाषण दिया था. एक्सेसिज्म द इंडियन वे. अरे बद्रीनारायण, जब ये बेवकूफ तुम्हारे यहाँ हाजिर है तो तुम लोगों ने अपनी बेटी के लिए मुझे यहाँ क्यों बुलाया है?
Moreover, the parallels extend far beyond a single film, echoing the chaotic brilliance of Phir Hera Pheri,
यही है वो तीनों कमीने. दिवाली तेता पैसा था यार तुम लोगों ने. दाम से माल डालूंगा ले. मुंह से सुपारी निकाल के बात कर रहे बाबा.
इसके मुंह में पैदाशी सुपारी है. ये तोतला है.
Bhagam Bhag, and Chup Chup Ke.
फटाफट ये काम खत्म करोगे तो तुरंत दूसरा काम दूंगा. मैं कोई बोतल से निकला हुआ भूत हूँ कि एक के बाद एक काम देते जा रहे हो.
Interestingly, the nostalgia factor is further amplified by the presence of familiar faces such as Paresh Rawal and Rajpal Yadav.
सुंदर. किसने रखा ये नाम? बाबूजी ने. अंधे थे क्या?
Whose impeccable comic timing has long been associated with this genre.
इसने कहा मुझे मंदिर का घंटा समझ रखा है. जब भी आता है बजा के चला जाता है.
Alongside them, a strong ensemble cast featuring late Govardhan Asrani,
यहाँ पे तो कितनी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरीज है. टेम्पल्स की,
Vamika Gabbi, Tabu, Jishnu Sen Gupta, and Mithila Palkar adds depth and variety to the narrative. In conclusion, one thing is certain. The haunted doors have opened and audiences are already stepping inside. With Alice, Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
A date, a venue, and a love story the world can't seem to look away from. Because when Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are in the spotlight, speculation doesn't linger quietly. It erupts into a global spectacle. Now, the narrative around their much-discussed wedding has taken a dramatic twist as fresh revelations begin to unravel what many had already accepted as truth. Take a look at this report.
No official announcement, no confirmed invite. Yet the internet is already dressed for the wedding of the year. Because when global pop royalty Taylor Swift and NFL superstar Travis Kelce are in love, even a whisper turns into a worldwide headline. And now a date is doing the rounds, June 13th. But is it real or just another Swiftie-fueled fairy tale? Well, the conversation around Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding has now taken a sharp turn, with fresh revelations challenging what many had begun to accept as fact. The couple, engaged since August 2025, have kept every detail tightly under wraps, even as speculation points towards a grand late summer 2026 celebration. For weeks, June 13, 2026 was treated less like gossip and more like gospel. The date, linked to Rhode Island's iconic Ocean House, gained massive traction across fan theories and media reports alike. But new comments from a prominent wedding planner have cast doubt on that narrative, raising questions about what is real and what is simply guesswork. A leading luxury wedding planner has directly debunked the claims. She said, and we quote, "I'm the wedding planner for June 13th at the Ocean House in Rhode Island. Sorry to let you all know, Taylor is not my bride this weekend." The love story, however, is very real. It first grabbed headlines in 2023 when Swift was spotted at a Kansas City Chiefs game shortly after her split from Joe Alwyn. Since then, the romance has unfolded like a cultural phenomenon. From Kelce cheering at the Eras tour to Swift standing by him through Super Bowl glory.
We could dream high in the quiet of the night, you know that I caught it. Bad, bad boy, shiny toy with the price, you know that I bought it. Keeping these low out the window. I'm always waiting for you to be waiting below. Devils roll the dice, angels roll the eyes. It doesn't kill me, makes me want you more. And it's new, the shape of your body is blue.
Wedding or no wedding, one thing remains undeniable. With Taylor Swift, the story is never ordinary. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
The Super Mario Galaxy movie defies mixed reviews to become the year's highest-grossing Hollywood opener, winning audiences worldwide. Meanwhile, it performs steadily in India and overseas markets. The film proves that nostalgia, adventure, and audience love can triumph over critical opinion. UpNet is our report numbers never lie.
There's a huge universe out there. With a lot of galaxies.
Coins are clinking, galaxies are spinning, and amid a storm of critics and chaos, one plumber has once again leapt into box office history. Defying expectations and silencing doubts, the Super Mario Galaxy movie has turned mixed reviews into background noise, emerging as a massive crowd puller across the globe. Interestingly, the film has struck gold with audiences by earning 1,089 crore over its opening weekend in North America and climbing to 1,580 crore within 5 days, securing the biggest Hollywood opening of the year. In fact, Mexico led the international charge with approximately 241 crore, followed by the UK and Ireland with nearly 163 crore earning.
My Koopas! Your king has returned!
In India, the animated sequel made a modest yet notable mark, earning around 3.73 crore net and reaching a total gross of approximately 4.45 crore.
Everyone calm down.
Toad, pack our things.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, princess, you're going to regret that.
While it stands as the biggest debut since Avatar: Fire and Ash, it still trails slightly behind the Chinese blockbuster Pegasus 3 in global records. Moreover, despite its massive success, the film has seen a slight dip compared to its predecessor. The Super Mario Bros. Movie, which opened to higher numbers in 2023 and eventually crossed an astonishing 10,800 crore worldwide.
My army! Koopas! Goombas! Whatever those things are! Oh. We will destroy the Mushroom Kingdom!
Bowser is coming.
I'm not afraid. I'll do anything for my brother.
We're going to save him.
Featuring the return of beloved voice actors Chris Pratt, Jack Black, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Charlie Day, the film enjoyed a wide release across the US and Canada, playing in over 4,200 theaters.
Hello, maggots.
Meanwhile, Bollywood continues its strong global run with Dhurandhar: The Revenge, starring Ranveer Singh, holding steady in its third week. The film added nearly 16 crore in North America, taking its total there to around 214 crore. And with 1,013 crore net and 1,213 crore gross in India, along with a worldwide total of approximately 1,605 crore, Dhurandhar 2 stands as a monumental success in Indian cinema. Ultimately, the Super Mario Galaxy movie proves that audience love can outweigh critical opinion. While reviews may fade, the magic of nostalgia, adventure, and a beloved character continues to shine, one giant leap at a time.
My Koopas! Your king has returned!
Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
The Bowser name shall be feared once more! Oh no!
Now, Project Hail Mary has blasted into theaters and has now become the highest grossing space film in India. Ryan Gosling's sci-fi adventure smashed records domestically and internationally, thrilling audiences with its story of survival, science, and an extraordinary interstellar alliance. Dive deeper to know more.
So, I met an alien. He's kind of growing on me. At least he's not growing in me, you know, which was a concern for a little while.
The box office has a new winner, and it's out of this world. In a remarkable box office milestone, Project Hail Mary has emerged as the highest grossing space genre film in India, clocking an impressive 45.5 crore gross in just 11 days of release. The Ryan Gosling starrer has not only sustained its strong theatrical momentum, but has now officially surpassed the lifetime collection of some of Hollywood's most celebrated space films in Indian market.
I am Rocky. I like.
With this milestone, the movie has surpassed the lifetime collection of Interstellar, Gravity, and The Martian, setting a new benchmark for space films in India.
Wasn't built for this.
Ryan Gosling's sci-fi adventure Project Hail Mary has stormed theaters with a powerful opening weekend, emerging as the biggest debut yet for Amazon MGM Studios. The film not only secured the #1 spot at the domestic box office, but has also delivered impressive numbers globally. Interestingly, the film collected a strong 80.6 million in its 3-day opening weekend across North America. While it managed to outperform the opening day figures of Oppenheimer, it fell just short of surpassing its overall opening weekend total.
You are the man who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
Moreover, the film exceeded expectations internationally, earning 60.4 million over its extended 5-day opening across 82 markets. In fact, the movie has already broken multiple records. It has overtaken Scream 7's $63.6 million domestic debut to become the biggest opening weekend of 2026.
Tatum, listen to me. He's trying to find another way in. We're gonna do this together. You're gonna have to shoot him through the wall. Where? To the right of the door. Shoot him now! Do it now! Oh, you got it.
Additionally, it has surpassed Creed 3's $58.4 million debut, marking the highest opening in the history of Amazon MGM Studios. It has also edged past Godzilla into Kong, the new empire's 80 million opening, ranking among the top debuts for a March release. Directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, Project Hail Mary follows Rylan Grace, a middle school science teacher who wakes up alone on a spaceship with no memory of who he is or how he got there. As his memories slowly return, he realizes he's on a critical mission to save Earth.
I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky. We're here for the same reason. His son is dying too. If we're gonna save our planet, we have to learn how to communicate. Check this out. We have about 250 words. Let's find you a voice.
Why is a school teacher in space?
Nope.
Why is a school teacher in space?
Try this.
I am Rocky. I like.
Along the way, he encounters an unexpected ally, an alien from another star system, facing the same crisis. Together, they combine science, trust, and ingenuity to solve the problems and try to save both their civilizations.
Grace looks disgusted when he eats.
How do you look when you eat?
It look beautiful.
Show me. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
We can go home.
I think this is a one-way trip for me.
From Salman Khan, newest friend melting hearts online, to Kim Kardashian and Lewis Hamilton making their relationship Instagram official, up next is our segment, What's Trending? Take a look.
Bhaijan has a new love, and internet is absolutely here for it. Salman Khan may be one of Bollywood's biggest stars, but right now, the spotlight belongs to his newest companion, his dog. The actor has once again melted hearts online with a fresh series of photographs featuring his adorable Chow Chow, whom he affectionately calls My Sukh. Salman first introduced My Sukh to the world in January, in a series of warm, candid photos from his Panvel farmhouse. Over the years, he has been pet parent to a string of beloved dogs, from Neapolitan Mastiffs to Saint Bernards, all bearing his signature naming style, from My Son and My Jaan to My Love. On the work front, Salman is set to kick off his next pan-Indian film with director Vamshi Paidapalli from April 18th. Additionally, he will also be seen in the upcoming war drama Matrubhumi May War Rest in Peace, directed by Apurva Lakhia with Chitrangada Singh in a pivotal role.
हिंदू बहुत ही डरपोक कौम है.
The makers of Dhurandhar, The Revenge, have now muted more cuss words that were earlier only partially muted in the film's theatrical prints. The move comes days after social media users criticized the Central Board of Film Certification for only partially censoring the language. A source close to the film, Dhurandhar 2, shared with India Today that a few cuss words have been muted from its current prints. Apart from Sanjay Dutt's dialogue during the gang war in Lyari, a couple of other characters mouthing abuses have been muted in the fresh print of the film.
जहाँ दर्द है, वहाँ मर्द है. Meanwhile, none of this seems to have hindered the film's performance at the box office. The spy thriller has crossed 1,000 crore domestically and a worldwide gross now surpassing 1,600 crore within just 18 days of release. Written and directed by Aditya Dhar, the film stars Ranveer Singh in the lead and boasts an ensemble cast including Sanjay Dutt, R. Madhavan, Arjun Rampal, Rakesh Bedi, Danish Pandor and Sara Arjun among others. A fresh wave of romance is on the horizon as Chand Mera Dil unveils its first official poster introducing a new on-screen pair to watch. Starring Ananya Pandey as Chandni and Lakshya as Arav, the visuals move from quiet classroom moments to emotionally charged embraces, hinting at a love story that evolves with time. Produced by Karan Johar and directed by Vivek Soni, the film was initially slated for an April release but will now arrive in theatres on May 22nd.
तुम by any chance yacht week तो नहीं जा रहे ना?
Meanwhile, Ananya was last seen opposite Kartik Aaryan in Tu Meri, Main Tera, Tu Meri.
तुझे था इंतजार.
While Lakshya was most recently seen in Bastards of Bollywood, which was directed by Aryan Khan.
Love, hate, love. वो होती है chemistry. Virat Kohli and Anushka Sharma have joined the bandwagon of praise for Dhurandhar The Revenge. Taking to social media, the power couple shared their admiration for the Aditya Dhar directorial. Virat described the film as a never-before-seen cinematic experience in India, admitting he did not flinch once during the nearly 4-hour runtime. Whereas Anushka Sharma too applauded the film's gripping and immersive craft. She even praised Aditya Dhar's fiercely original vision and the seamless execution of the ensemble cast. The couple's endorsement comes at a pivotal moment as the film continues its historic run, recently shattering records to cross the 1,000 crore mark domestically. In a big step in their whirlwind romance, Kim Kardashian and Lewis Hamilton have made their relationship Instagram official. Confirmation came through the F1 champion's latest Tokyo Drift video, which quickly went viral. It features Kim riding shotgun as Lewis cruises through Tokyo in a striking red Ferrari, marking the first time either has publicly acknowledged their relationship. The duo had already sparked a social media frenzy after being spotted linking arms in the city. For the unversed, rumors of the two dating first surfaced in January when they spent a low-key weekend together. And since then, the pair has remained in the spotlight, most notably during their joint appearance, including at this year's Super Bowl.
That's all we could pack in our broadcast today, but keep watching In the Club from Monday to Friday at 2:30 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. on India Today for your daily dose of entertainment. This is me, Susan, signing off for today. Till next time, thanks for watching and goodbye.